What is up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a great week. We just want to come on here and say happy early 4th of July. Make sure you're responsible with them fireworks. You do not want to lose any fingers, toes, anything like that. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great 4th. We're coming to you a little bit early because of the 4th. And our drink review this time around is just more of the drinks that we like to drink on the 4th. And we picked up one that we have never tried before. Maybe you guys have tried. Mm-hmm. We went ahead with the Malibu Splash. They're called Malibu Splashes. My man found them at the local liquor store.
Something different.
Something different.
We were trying to figure it out. We're like, you know, what's something you just can buy already pre-made and just...
And everybody's, like you said...
Dump it in the cooler.
Everybody's pretty much going to, like, a Celsius type thing now. Everyone's kind of coming out with one. I went with the watermelon. It was really good.
I went the strawberry and coconut Malibu Splash.
So...
Sparkling malt beverage with natural flavor. 5% alcohol in a 12-ounce can.
So...
Strawberry?
Honestly, not bad. It's not bad. They have mango... and pineapple.
Mango as we'll be trying as we are
going along
throughout the rest of this. Again, 5% alcohol volume. Got mango, and we also have pineapple.
Put it on your pizza.
Pretty cool. No. No. But I mean, like pretty cool cans. No, you don't. You don't. But you got the variety pack, you know, 8 of them, eight total cans.
And then, obviously, we have what everybody probably drinks on the 4th.
Everybody has had, if not have had, you have to try it.
Yeah.
It is the Smirnoff Red, White, and Berry. I swear to you, it used to be Red, White, and Blue.
I thought it was. At least that's what I've always called it.
It's Mandela effect.
Yeah, maybe.
We're in a different timeline. Now it's called Berry. But, again,
like if
4.5% alcohol volume, and
these are perfect for the 4th. These are perfect.
Something you take and you just dump in the cooler, put it on ice, and you're outside. Or unfortunately, here in Kansas, our weather is not so pretty. Even though my man over here is excited for it, he was like, "Great, no fireworks, boo the 4th. 4th sucks. Fuck the veterans. Fuck freedom." I'm like, "Damn, that sucks. Like that's what fucked up."
No. Absolutely respect to our veterans. Absolutely.
I'm just not hating the veterans. Just fuck freedom. We don't want it because he hates the 4th.
I don't hate the 4th. I'm just not a fan of the 4th anymore.
He hates blowing stuff
No,
up,
it's more
smelling gunpowder, seeing the beautiful lights in the sky,
God.
and he's like, "Nah, fuck that. I don't like that."
No. You know, a lot
about
of
Juneteenth and supporting all kind of different genders. He's more of wave the flag. He doesn't like loud noises or.
I don't like loud
gunpowder.
noises. I don't like loud noises. I get scared.
There ain't no way he can be around my wife then. Like, no.
No, the 4th to me is a great holiday. You know, I normally we grill, we put up the water slides. I guess I'm going to go mango. I can't believe I'm doing this to myself. I'm going to let you have the pineapple because I know you love pineapple, baby. I'm just not a fan of how fireworks are made nowadays. It just seems like there's always too many things going wrong. They're not made the same. They're made more cheaply than they have been before.
So you don't know how to take the fucking tube, sit it on the ground, take the ball with the fucking wick.
I
put
do.
It in the
other people don't.
And fucking light it. And just walk in the sky. You don't.
I think for me, it's more like people shooting off shit you shouldn't be shooting off. That's
what do you mean? I want to shoot off. If I want to shoot off dynamite, I'll shoot off fucking dynamite. Grow the fuck up.
That's to me. Loud. You were here a couple years ago when they tried killing us all. Boo-hoo.
That was great.
My kids didn't think it was great.
They grow up. Like.
But I guess for me,
what's your favorite kind of food on the 4th? obviously, a lot of people like to, have some kind of drink.
You know, you always got to do. You got your hot dogs, your hamburgers. We know you don't like your brats. Me, ribs. I think any type of ribs. Throw on there pork loin ribs, smoke your ribs, however you want to do it. I think that's perfect. Finger foods is always great, especially if you got kids running in the house, got a big group. Finger foods, stuff like that.
Some meat platter, veggie
platter, absolutely.
Some chips and dip. And you need some water to keep them, and some Kool-Aid to keep the kids hydrated. Lemonade. Pink or yellow lemonade.
Both. And then you gotta have pizza with your pineapples on it to go.
No, you don't.
With your pineapple Malibu Splash.
I don't taste the peach.
Honestly, the mango is actually not that bad.
Good for you. You fucking.
I went mango. Yeah. I'm not a mango fan, but
just because you're afraid it's gonna taste like cucumber.
No, that's the watermelon. I was scared. Gin and juice fucked me up hard. Like man, I tell you what, that gin and juice, guys. If you remember that episode, that gin and juice, that watermelon was a lie. Like I can't believe Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre did that to me. I feel hurt. I feel like I've been targeted by those guys, and I love them. And I don't know what I did to you to give me a watermelon that tastes like a cucumber, but I'm scarred for fucking life every time I think of watermelon.
Like the rim of the watermelon. That's the flavor they went for, because there's no fucking way.
But
I would have to agree. You know, just like some good old barbecue, some smoked meat. And not for you, but like some fireworks going off, kids outside playing with smoke bombs and poppers. Again, not for you. But
see, growing up, we didn't get to do that stuff growing up.
Yeah, I know. Instead, you got like AKs. Like, I mean, that's great, cool. You like you got.
We went and watched them shoot it all off.
Like, that's great. Like that's why you're scared of them. I understand. You don't know how to handle. You don't know how to handle some big artillery, some firepower. Be a man's man. Oh, dude, like I get it. I understand.
My dad did the fireworks shows. We never had to do them. My dad did all this.
Yeah, I understand. You're just kind of scared. Maybe this year I'll teach you.
Do you want to lose your small forward / power forward on 2K? What if I lose a finger and I can't shoot no more?
Adapt.
I know! Just because I got a pro controller and I can switch the fucking button. No!
Too easy.
I'm shooting damn near 52% from 3. I'm not trying to learn, alright? We're 2 seasons away from this bitch being over.
Well, don't lose that finger. Like,
goddamn. But, yeah, no, again, have a great 4th. Be safe out there. Drink responsibly or don't. That's your choice. But we're telling you to drink responsibly. Don't come back and say that, well, J&B unsupervised said we didn't have to be careful. No, be careful. Don't blame us.
Do whatever you want.
You're an adult. Do you.
Just know the liquor store will probably be closed on the 4th.
Probably. You better get your
stuff
stuff
now. A lot of other stores will be closing early. So
wife's got to swing to the store, pick up some stuff for the grilling tomorrow. I got to put my grill together. I tried to do our podcast while we put our grill together. And he was like, nah, we're not doing that. I thought we could take away, 2 birds with 1 stone. He's like, fuck you, do it yourself.
No, I hate that. I've done that. I've put 2 grills together before. Fuck that. No, I ain't doing it yet.
I guess I got to do
it. I told you where you could go.
I guess I got to go put it together myself.
It's going to take you all day.
That's fucked. That's fucked. You're probably not wrong, but that's a little fucked. But
well, that's what you get for making me drink fucking pineapples.
You're welcome. But getting into, we got a lot of NBA talk right now. Off-season started, and we're going to start with the GOAT, LeBron James, re-signed with the Lakers, 2 years, $104 million, with a player option after this year. LeBron's coming off his 21st season where he basically, he played 71 games last year. Average, where are we at? 25.7 points per game.
A point off his season.
8.3 assists. 6.5 rebounds. Had a career year from 3-point percentage at 41%. So he's going into his 22nd season. He for the people out there that say, well, LeBron said he was going to take a pay cut to get a star. What are you supposed to do when your front office doesn't get you a star?
Well, it wasn't to get a star. It was to maximize the mid-level exception.
To get players.
And they had choices. They had Valanciunas. Whiffed. He went to the Wizards.
We'll talk about that.
Your career's over. And then it was Klay Thompson. And, whiffed on that one.
Daddy not happy.
And, Klay Thompson's daddy, not so happy. He was a former Laker, 2-time champion with the Lakers.
Yep.
And so once all the big names were off the board, why would you not take the max? Why would you not take the max deal?
That's really not even the deal that he could have really took.
But you're not going to take the $3 million. You're not going to take the 3 years. He's not going to play another 3 years. He takes the 1. If he wants to play 1 more year, he can opt out.
His other son's 3 years out.
Why
great. Not?
Okay, well, he already said he's going to be 42. He ain't going to be there. And I don't think LeBron's going to play till 42. I think the player option is more so he can opt out and then again be like, okay, I can give you money back. Are you going to go get somebody? Yeah. Or not, and when they don't, then he'll just either retire or go somewhere else. Or he'll opt out for his.
Do you think he'll retire a Laker? Or do you think he'll go back home and retire? What do you think? What do you think is? Obviously, he's going to get to play with his son this year. That was his lifelong, obviously, dream.
His goal, not Bronny's goal.
Not Bronny's goal, and Bronny's made that very clear.
I'm
torn.
He's going to get a statue in his jersey, retired in Cleveland and Miami, and probably in LA because he got a chip there. And when you're potentially the GOAT or the second best overall player, you're just going to get that kind of love, whether or not you think he deserves it with the Heat or Lakers.
I think he's getting one with the Heat and the Cavs. Now the Lakers.
That's why they say the Cavs, because obviously that's where he drafted. Yeah. Brought them their first chip ever, and probably like their only chip for the longest time in the foreseeable future. But he probably retires a Laker.
Okay.
To say that he doesn't sign maybe like a one-day contract with the Cavs to
just
have it officially done there, I could maybe see something kind of like that done. But I think when it's all said and done, because we have a year, 2 years, and then we're probably no longer have LeBron James. We'll have Bronny out there, but it's not LeBron James. And he's the pinnacle of the NBA.
Since we're on the Lakers real quick, Bronny did sign his rookie contract.
Yep.
4 years, $7.9 million. So
team option after the 3rd year.
Yep. So kudos to
fully
Bronny.
Guaranteed. So I mean, he got about $8 million.
Yeah. So kudos to Bronny.
For a 55th overall pick, that's not too shabby.
Most talked about 55th pick in NBA history. There will never be another pick talked about like this ever again in the 2nd round. At that pick ever again. That is cemented. But moving on to another guy that got signed. Speaking of LeBron's former team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell re-signed for a 3-year, $150.3 million deal. Mm-hmm. Now here's the kicker on this deal. He signed this deal, which makes him eligible to sign in 2027 a 5-year, $380 million deal, making him the first $80 million per year player. What is your thoughts? That's crazy to think that.
Why would you not sign back with the Cavs?
Well,
I mean, they went and got the head coach.
Well, think about how much they had to give up for him. They gave up picks to get him.
They didn't really give up a whole lot.
Not a whole lot, but they gave up.
Not compared to what the Clippers gave up to acquire Paul George, or the Timberwolves to get Rudy Gobert.
Yes.
Or even
to get him to re-sign was a big deal for the Cavs, or big deal.
Well, yeah, because I mean, give up any kind of draft capital or players to get a player, a star, as Donovan Mitchell is.
Yeah.
Then it is a big deal. But he re-signed. They brought the head coach he wanted that he liked.
Yep.
And to me, it's a no-brainer. I'm not going anywhere if I can sit here and play 1 year. And then the next following year, I can be like, okay, pay me, or you can then trade me, and I'm still available to get.
It was very unfortunate, though, because he had a great year. He only played 55 games last year. He averaged 26.5 points. He shot 53% from 2, and then 3 percentage. He was about 37%.
Well, obviously, he's going to get his money. I don't think he spends the rest of his career in Cleveland. I think he gets out and gets somewhere else. But I could be wrong. But he's going to. The reason why he signed back was so he can get that $80 million a year.
Yeah.
In 2027, in 2 years. In 2 years, you got to sit there and be on a mid-team. Maybe not a mid-team, maybe better, maybe worse. But what do you think happened with Garland? Darius Garland said, if you bring Mitchell back, I want out. Now, Mitchell is the star. Okay. He's their one. Garland is a budding, potentially could develop into a superstar or a kind of franchise guy.
If you're Kenny Atkins, Kenny Atkins is the head coach. Obviously, it's the guy that Donovan Mitchell wanted. It's the guy they went and got. I think you have to try to figure out how to make this marriage work, because I'm going to tell Garland this. The grass is not always greener on the other side. And I don't know where you're going to go. Where do you think you're going to go?
I think the grass would be greener for him if he left, because with Mitchell out, the dude flourished in the playoffs in the 3 games I think that Mitchell missed. He looked great. He looked aggressive. He looked tuned in. But
again, the market where everybody's if that was going to happen, I would have expected it to happen a lot.
Not really. It's not really like the NFL where shit like that happens before, during.
Honestly,
it's more after the draft. Free agency really doesn't happen until after the draft. Well, free agency. That's the thing is in the NBA free agency.
Well, he's got to go somewhere where he's going to want to start, and he's going to feel like maybe he's the man.
He's a starter no matter what. But you have to go to what, the Pistons, the Wizards.
Well, the Pistons got Kate Cunningham.
Yeah, but again, some place there's not another player kind of at your position.
I mean, yeah, it's. I think he's going to get moved. It's just a matter of when.
Toronto.
Toronto could be an interesting spot for him.
But what do you think Cleveland will do? Do you think they?
I think they'll try to. I think they'll try to begin the season. He'll be on there, and if it doesn't go, I think he'll be moved by the trade deadline. Is basically what I'm saying. I think it's going to happen for him. At best,
tough. To me, it reminds me a lot of Kyrie, Luka. That no one's really talking about because neither one of them are on Kyrie or Luka level.
Yeah.
But how can you figure out how to make them be able to work together when they're on the court at the same time is really the coach that they brought in. It's really on him to figure that out because previously that has not looked like that.
Yeah. Another guy that is on the move, a former Los Angeles Clipper, Paul George, is taking his talents back to the Eastern Conference to the 76ers on a 4-year, $212 million deal. Forming a big three in Philly with Embiid, him, and Maxey. So,
Well, Maxey as well.
But yeah, so I'll go and get Maxey. Maxey re-signed got an extension for 5 years, $204 million. So the Sixers made sure that their core guys outside of Paul George were taken care of.
I'm just saying they fucked up. Should have paid Maxey last year.
Yeah, you probably should have.
Like, hindsight's 2020, but I thought they were dumb not to pay him last year, and he took a big step in development this year.
Yeah, he did. Nobody expected Maxey to take off like he did. He caught me off guard with that. So
Joel went down, and it really all fell on his shoulders, and he really stepped up. Even in the playoffs.
I guess the question now is Paul George's time with the Clippers. Before we talk about him going to the Sixers, his time with the Clippers is now up. If we look back to the trade that took place in 2019, it was SGA, 5 first-round picks, and 2 first-round pick swaps.
Yeah.
For Paul George.
With OKC.
Wow. That's a haul. Especially looking at who SGA is now. MVP conversation type dude. Yeah. Again, I've seen a lot of people talk about how they say the Clippers tenure is not a failure. How is it not a failure? You think back to the Lob City. Always choked in the playoffs. You look back at this team. Choked in the playoffs. I don't care bubble or not. You were up 3-1. You were 1 game away from facing the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals to go to the NBA Championship. And you choked it away, and the excuses were, we didn't want to be there, blah, blah, this. I don't want to hear that. This tenure has been an absolute failure. Him and Paul George and Kawhi, failure.
I'm going to say,
sorry. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, failure together.
Okay, so, all right, so you got the trade out there. So it was Kawhi and PG, Paul George.
Yep.
So you have a couple tenures. You have what they did, and the pieces that they had around them was very solid, very well-rounded.
They always put stars around them.
Made 1 Western Conference Finals.
Yep.
That was it during his time there. They got Westbrook, and they got James Harden. Westbrook was there for 2 years, and James Harden got there last year.
Yeah, last year, and they lost.
So then you brought in 2 more Hall of Famers, because we got really 4 Hall of Famers. That's not really debate. They'll be there, unfortunately. Maybe they don't. Maybe they do. But they all have MVPs.
Yeah.
That's not of PG and Kawhi, but Westbrook has one, Harden has one.
Yep.
But you brought in all these stars.
Yep.
And most of them have, outside of PG, all have NBA final experience, deep playoff runs. Which one's more of a failure? The short experience with Westbrook and Harden with the 2 big stars they already had, or the one that brought in PG?
Oh, I think the one that brought in PG.
Because the outsider trade to require James Harden, not going to didn't cost as much.
Yeah, no. I would still go with the first one. The second one was just trying to... The second stint was just trying to make the push to get over the hump. And it didn't look no different than the first time.
So doesn't that really make the trade for Paul George worse because you double down on a bad hand?
And you let Paul George go away for nothing. You don't get anything in return. You gave up all that capital and nothing in return. He just walked out the door.
Well, because there was trade offers on the table.
And you gave Kawhi Leonard a contract to dude that I've said that keeps quitting on your team.
But it was a max deal. That was the thing.
Yes,
that's what they wanted Paul George to do. They didn't want to give him the max. And they gave Paul George the same offer they gave Kawhi, and Kawhi signed it. Because Kawhi...
Of course, Kawhi just collecting a check. Dude in Costa Rica right now.
Dude was homeless as hell. I'm like, I wasn't sure if that was really him. I'm like,
I had to double check the picture. I'm like, Kawhi Leonard in Costa Rica. I'm like, that's cool. Oh, shit, that is Kawhi. Okay. Yeah, so it's been a failure on both, but the first one's the worst failure because you gave up everything. You gave Kawhi the house. Then Kawhi's like, you better get Paul George or I'm going to LA to be with LeBron and AD. So you give up the development, real estate to get Paul George. You talk about you're the kings of LA. This is your town. And I'm pretty sure LA got a chip and you've done nothing.
Well, it makes it almost... So, to me, it makes it a little bit worse. They doubled down on a bad hand. Didn't make it any farther than the second round with James Harden and Westbrook.
Yep. Luka made sure of that.
He slayed that. Luka slayed that demon.
Yep.
But they also... they tried to keep Shaw Alexander. They asked him, are you sure you wanted to keep Shaw? No.
Because Doc said... Doc even came out and said he saw SGA developing into something special, and Kawhi didn't want to wait.
Easy to say in hindsight, but obviously he was not wrong. And he obviously said, obviously he did then and there because he was like, we should probably try to retain this guy. No, you give it up to get PG, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, no, it did not. It did not work out.
Utter failure. You can't give up the house and then double down on the house and not win a. If they would have made it to NBA Finals, failure, yes or no?
If they made an NBA Finals, then it's a different story.
Was it a failure, yes or no, if they made it there?
No, it wouldn't have been a failure because you got to your ultimate goal.
At least it would have gotten to a
so
place that they've never been.
Obviously, the ultimate goal is to get to the finals. Obviously, you want to win it, but just getting there would have been, at least you got there, and if you ran up against a juggernaut in the East and just didn't... Well, I guess it would be depending on how you lost in the finals. Like, you get swept, then okay, maybe it wasn't really worth it,
but
the
ultimate goal is to get a place that you've never been before.
Yes, and they've never been there.
One.
No.
So, to me, it's a failure. I don't see how you can look at any other way. You look at it in the... When a team adds a superstar, they put a superstar team together. They said LeBron, with the Heat, lost the very first time in the finals. They weren't even supposed to really get to the finals the first time because any trio ever put together never did. They made it there.
Well, except the Boston Celtics, they were able to get there and win it, but they were much older at that point in time.
Okay, so you have one outlier, and the Heat did it and lost to the Mavs, who they should have beat, obviously, but didn't. And people said, well, that was a failure, but then they went back to back.
Yep.
They never did not make the finals.
Yep.
The Heat didn't.
Yep.
So I'm curious to see if KD and the Warriors don't make the finals when KD goes there. People say that would have been a failure.
I don't know if failure would have been the right word for that one, but yeah,
it was a failure. They got to the people said when they got to the finals and everybody got hurt. That was a failure.
Yeah.
So the Clippers. The little baby of the Lakers, that's a failure. You tried to upstage Big Brother. Big Brother got a ring. You never got one or even sniffed it.
Now
they're leaving all the banners, so now they get to look at an empty rafter in their new stadium.
We got to take a look at their new logo. I was confused on their new logo. It's a ship in a shape of a compass. It's very weird.
It's like a ship. It's kind of like a sea. And honestly, I thought it was the Washington Wizards logo. I thought they watched the Wizards change their shit up. I really did. And I'm like sitting here, but
the Clippers are gonna be in their new arena, and it's gonna be the Clippers are in for a long haul, I believe. But moving on from that, another key piece that's moving on, former Denver Nuggets, KCP. Mm-hmm. He is now going to the Orlando Magic on a 3-year, $66 million deal, and I actually like this move for Orlando. Sucks that Denver lost him. Because you would have loved to keep him. You know, he's a great 3-and-D wing type of guy, but...
He's pretty old.
He's definitely getting much older.
And I don't really think I wouldn't have paid him that. I don't think that's a great of a signing, honestly.
Oh, you don't think so?
No, 3 years, $60-some-odd million?
About like $22 million a year.
That's a lot for a dude that's hella inconsistent from 3 that has rode a couple players to chips.
I like the move for the. I like the yes.
That's a lot of money. You don't have
still a lot of money.
Veteran minimum for the Heat, and that's a veteran presence.
So
you can go do that, or you can get a guy that is. I mean, he's a solid role player, I guess, for $20-some-odd million a year.
I don't know if I'm be curious to see though if he will start with the young core that they got down there.
He's making like $20-some-odd million. He has to.
Well, fair.
Otherwise, that's a shit ton of money coming off the bench. Granted, they did pay their head coach after like 1 good year. So, what do I know what Magic's really doing?
Well, the Magic seem to know what they're doing. But I guess another guy that is departured from the Dallas, departured from the Dallas Mavericks, Derek Jones Jr. He's going to the Los Angeles Clippers on a 3-year, $30 million deal. So he's getting about $10 million a year. So I was actually sad to see Derek Jones Jr. leave the Clippers the Mavs.
The Mavs don't really need him, though. And they took the money that they didn't spend on him, and obviously, jumping a little bit farther ahead, they went and was able to sign Klay Thompson.
Yes, so Klay Thompson, one of the next biggest move in the offseason, left Golden State, going to the Mavs 3-year, $50 million deal. So you now have Luka, Kyrie, and Klay Thompson on the same team. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, it gives them hellacious shooting. And people are underestimating Klay. Everyone's trying to
Klay made 219 catch-and-shoot threes last season. Yes, that might have been last
I think he still shot like 39% from 3 last year. It's not like he just fell off and he
may have had a tough time last year at moments.
But overall, he's still a deadly 3-point shooter that can get hot at any time. And if you're going to give him wide open looks where he pretty much is going to run down
he shot 38% 0.7% from the 3-point line last year. That's like I don't see what's
how,
wrong with that.
And that's
so
all he's
what?
going to be doing. You have Kyrie and Luka that's going to be drawing doubles.
So
and they're going to be giving him
and he's going to be
telling me all right.
PJ, and he's going to be coming in motivated.
Well, PJ Tucker sat in the corner and was left wide open. You cannot leave Klay Thompson in the fucking corner. Wide the motherfucking open. Klay Thompson's going to be like, look, this is my spot, and I'm going to go to that spot, and he's going to go to that spot. And you're going to be fucked. You're not going to be able to do that in the playoffs.
And he averaged 18 points.
Klay Thompson is not the dude that had 12 dribbles for like 70 or 60 some points.
12 dribbles and 60 points.
He's not that guy, but he can give you that.
He can still get hot.
In a fucking quarter, he can go off if he gets hot. And that's unfortunate that he...
That wasn't even his worst year shooting from 3. It was the first year he came back from injury at 38%.
What don't makes it worse is that the Warriors did offer him a 2-year deal.
He did. I think it was like $48 million, and he turned it down. He bet on himself.
It was 2 years. But that's still like $24 million.
Yeah, but it's also came out that he was unhappy with the organization. He felt disrespected.
I honestly think they got ahead of the curve. I think he's ahead of the curve. Versus what the Warriors
I would
are doing.
tell you this, though, and I think you will agree with me. I did not think he'd be the first person to leave of that big 3. I thought it'd been Draymond.
I thought it was Draymond Green was a free agent last year. I did not think they were going to pay that man all that money. The Houston Rockets were in on him last year, and I figured that
he came out on his podcast said he was actually going to leave for the Memphis Grizzlies, and called Clay, called Steph, called Steve Kerr, and they actually all got together and. Then he got paid. Curry, I'm assuming Curry got Draymond Green paid.
So you choose to get Draymond Green paid to do that. You keep
because
keep on
why else would you pay Draymond Green and not Clay? That you're gonna have to run that through Curry, the best player on your team, right? I just feel like he has to have some say in that, right?
I don't know how Draymond. I think is probably making more money than Clay is this coming year.
He might be. But
because Draymond got over 100 some.
All I know is when the Mavs and Warriors play, it's going to be even more amplified now. It's always a great game when those two teams play. Now it's even more amplified now that Clay's over there. Obviously, real quick, the Mavs were in the NBA Finals last year.
Yeah.
Obviously, fell short to the Boston Celtics. Obviously, numerous reasons why the Mavs, 100 excuses you can make up, but they ended up losing. You add Clay.
I think it's just not Clay. The additions, the subtraction additions they had, I think they're a better overall roster. I think the benches a little bit have questions. I think the rookie center,
Derek
Lively, I do think he will take another step in his development.
Yep.
And
it's just another guy
and a very veteran guy for Luka.
Yes.
Which is the biggest thing.
Yep.
They'll only go as far as Luka can take them. That's just how it worked. That's how it worked in Cleveland with LeBron and Kyrie. Only go as far as your best player will take you. Same with Seth with the Warriors.
Okay.
Or Jaylen Brown.
I'm still expecting him to make a deep run, regardless of where that may be. I'm still expecting Clay's going to...
I think they're a very well-rounded roster.
And you got Jason Kidd as your head coach. I just think the pin downs and the type of movement he's going to be able to get Klay Thompson, especially with Kyrie and, like you said, Luka handling that ball and the double teams that they're going to attract.
I mean, Luka's already averaging damn near a triple-double in the playoffs, and you get a catch and shoot like that, like PJ Tucker, get the PJ.
He's definitely an upgrade shooter than obviously losing Derrick Jones Jr. He's better.
Well, Derrick Jones Jr. was more of just kind of like a high flyer. A really good, a better defender than Clay is at this point in his career with the multitude of injuries that Clay had. Yep. But, I think it was a great signing. Unfortunately, I was really hoping the Lakers would have been able to get him.
Yes. So
what does that really say about the Lakers, though? The Lakers missed out on two big names. Valanciunas chose the Wizards.
Yeah, so speaking of Valanciunas, he was on the Pelicans. He left the Pelicans. Is going to the Washington Wizards on a 3-year, $30 million deal. And I just felt like you could have went somewhere better to get that type of money. You go to the Wizards? Like, why?
Well, I mean, the Lakers said that, and it was reported the Lakers were in on him, but I never ever heard a deal or a contract.
I heard more the Lakers were in on Brook Lopez than...
I don't think Brook Lopez is even signed anywhere.
So...
But, again, Clay moved on, and Valanciunas took money elsewhere, and LeBron signed pretty much his max deal for 2 years.
Yep. So, the next guy that re-signed... James Harden re-signed with the Clippers, 2-year, $70 million deal. $35 million a year. Some people say he took a pay cut. What type of fucking pay cut's that? Again, speaking of the Clippers, I don't know what they're going to look like. Russell Westbrook did opt back into his contract, $4 million or whatever.
Yep.
They're looking for a trade partner, and the rumor is Nikola Jokic wants Russell Westbrook to the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, my bad. Okay, Denver Nuggets. I was
so
the wrong
they attached DeAndre Jordan's name, but I don't care about DeAndre Jordan. Like, Nikola Jokic says that he wants Russell Westbrook. I don't know how I feel about that one because I don't know where Westbrook fits into how they play.
If he comes off the bench.
Yes, he obviously has to be a bench guy.
Well, how the fuck are you going to stop? So Jamal Murray, but think about it. So if Russell Westbrook comes off the bench to spill for a 1 or 2 guard, obviously Westbrook has to have the ball in his hand. He's really not a 3-ball shooter. No. But how are you going to stop that pick and roll, though? Because Westbrook, he's going to be elite. He's still elite.
Basically.
Getting at the rim.
Yes.
So.
And you have Jokic there who's still he's a great rebounder. He can get boards.
Well,
and he can stretch it because now it's not your normal pick and roll. Like, it would be just like him and Jamal Murray pick and roll a little bit differently. Except now you have to worry about the dude exploding to the fucking rim, and then if he's exploding, he sucks in. Jokic's sitting back there, and Jokic is a great 3-point shooter for a big man.
It's going to give Joker a lot more open looks from 3 because if the big man drops, Westbrook's going to attack the rim. If they don't switch, or if they do switch, now it's little man on Joker.
Yeah.
And Joker,
but
dude's just going to back him down and beat him up.
Speaking of the Harden re-signing, you really think about the Clippers, it's just Harden and Kawhi. Like, I don't know what that's going to look like.
Well, I mean, it was Kawhi and PG and a bunch of very, decently talented guys, but I don't know. I'd be curious to see, what it looks like. For sure, I don't know. Honestly, I can see the Clippers being a fringe playoff team. I can see them be the first time in the play-in bracket.
Yeah, possibly.
Kawhi doesn't play enough games.
No.
Kawhi hits that 60-65 threshold, and he's
done.
He's done. I'm out, bro.
I collected my check for the year. I'm done. Now I can get my All-NBA, my defense teams if I can get it, and outside of that, I'm done.
I'm done. I'm out.
Another guy that re-signed, Cade Cunningham, signed his rookie extension, 5 years, $226 million with the Detroit Pistons. Obviously, like, he's your best player. You got no choice.
I'm like, don't ask me anything. Obviously, they have to.
They have to. Kudos to Cade Cunningham. He got paid.
Get the bag, bro.
Here's where I think things get a little bit interesting. The Boston Celtics. Real quick, the Boston Celtics are for sale. So if you got $4 billion, hey, go buy the Boston Celtics, baby. They're for sale.
They're going to cost $1 billion in fucking to pay the roster.
Their starting 5 of basically $1 million, $970 million between their starting 5.
Yeah, basically $1 billion for the roster.
So,
their salary.
But Jason Tatum, we're going to start with Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum re-signed 5 years, $314 million, making him the first $70 million per year annual salary dude in the league. You want to go on that one? Jason Tatum got it back. He making $70 million a year.
It was going to happen. So the care
back-to-back seasons, the Celtics made highest paid players. Jaylen Brown last year. Jaylen Brown last year, and then Jason Tatum this year.
It's just like, to me, I don't really care that when guys get max deals, like they're just kind of what they're supposed to get, whether or not we think they should be getting that kind of money. Like, Jason Tatum was due. Like, he played the games. He is that caliber of player that gets a max deal.
Yes.
That was the money crazy? Absolutely. Does Jaylen Brown deserve it? Absolutely. Is the money crazy? The money is way crazier than what they deserve. We even go back 10 years ago, and Kobe B. Bryant was the highest paid at like $24 million 10 years ago. That was a max deal.
It's crazy. People talk about the money. Like, go back and just look at how much the money's changed. I mean, in any sport outside of baseball. I don't know where the fuck they get the money. Your dream should be a baseball player. Goddamn it, the money those fuckers make, good heaven. All right, but the other guy that got signed. And I have a problem with this one. Derek White, 4 years, $125.9 million. He signed.
I think I gotta look it up real quick. I don't want to be wrong with you guys, but I'm pretty sure Derek White's 30.
I'm pretty sure he's on the fringe of being 30.
Derek White.
I'm
pretty sure the dude 29. Dude 30. Dude was born in 90. He's old as you, dude. He's as old as you. He was born July 2nd. So he had his birthday yesterday. God damn, dude. Oh, dude 30.
I'm older than him.
Oh, damn. Well, you still have some hair still.
Oh god damn!
He ballered he ballered in a bald ass nutsack, but he bald and a new tooth. But yeah, no.
So he resigned, and I just
so what is he making? Because I have his.
He's 4 years, 125.9 million. What did he average last year?
He averaged 15 points, 4 boards, 5 assists, shooting 46% from the field, and you just paid this 30-year-old.
How much does that make him? 125, basically 126 million.
What was it, 125 for over 4?
Well, it's 126.9, so basically 126. I'll just round up.
Over 4?
Over 4 years.
So he's a $31 million player.
No, you're gonna regret oh my fucking god, dude.
So about really.
Boston's gonna regret that deal in 2 years, I believe. That deal, he'll be gone from Boston in 2 years. I promise you.
Oh man,
like that's overpaid. Well, was he due? Yes, but for that, no.
Well,
I don't think he's.
They've also so they paid him.
He's making more than James Harden.
Barely. But
good heavens.
No, he's not.
No, James Harden.
35.
Okay, 35. But boom, he's basically there.
And Derek White's not a Hall of Famer.
No, not even close.
And James Harden potentially has the ability to be.
That's overpaid.
Said and done.
Overpaid.
But see, they paid Brown last year.
They paid Porzingis too.
Paid Porzingis on a
Drew
2
Holiday
year for 60. They paid Drew Holiday. They paid Tatum and Brown. So the old starting five's all locked up. And I'm like, kudos to them.
No wonder you're trying to sell the fucking team.
But like, I'm
good heavens
to see how their bench fills out still. Granted, they are very good at drafting and finding guys. That Pritchard dude, that White.
He's good. He's good.
The dude is phenomenal at very clutch and then late buckets. He did it in college. They showed
a couple of years ago in summer league or whatever it was. Like he was just out there. He dropped like 70 points on like regular hoopers. He was just killing people.
He hit 2 bangers right before like the quarter was about to end in the NBA Finals.
Dude.
The biggest, that was his first bucket ever in the NBA Finals. So think of that. You're a white 6 foot dude, white dude out there in your first bucket in the NBA Finals for the Boston Celtics. Second best organization ever. Half court buzzer beater.
Yep.
Like at half. I'm pretty sure. I'm like, damn, dude.
I guess really what it comes down to is people are expecting the Celtics to win multiple championships.
You're paying $1 billion to the starting 5.
And granted, mind you, Porzingis is going to be out for some time. He's having that surgery.
It's reported that he's going to be out.
Guys are getting older. Granted, Tatum and Brown have.
Who? The stars, Brown and Tatum, are both like 27 years old.
I know, yeah.
That's prime.
I'm saying they're entering their prime. So
they
couple
should win
more
multiple. They should win not 1, but 2, 3, 4.
How many realistically do you think they should win? Realistically, would you give them one more? They have to win more than the big 3 that Boston formed back in the late 2000s, right? They have to get one more.
Maybe.
I'd say, being nice, taking the biasness out of it, maybe one more chip.
And that's hard to say one, though. Like, the one they got this year, it was very soft, but they took care of
lost
business.
3 games.
Even though I felt like the Pacers got robbed, and the Pacers, if they were a year or 2 older, I think the Pacers beat them with this current roster, unfortunately. We will never know.
Everything that a team needed to go right for them went right. And again, you play who's in front of you, and I can't help that.
And they took care of business.
And they took care of business. They only lost 3 games,
with a healthy. Saying the Celtics stay healthy and they go into a healthy Eastern Conference Finals, how hard the West is, because the West is going to bang everybody up, and whoever you get, you're going to get the best of the best out of the West most of the time. Maybe one more with this core.
Yep.
I could see potentially like one more in the next 2 years.
Okay.
They probably should go back to back. Like, I mean, when you look at it, the Knicks could potentially be in the way.
Knicks, Sixers, if they could figure it out.
The Sixers should definitely be in the way. The Bucks should definitely be in the way. Again, you got to be healthy. The Heat, obviously.
Really, the team very intriguing to see would be the Pacers and Knicks, honestly, just because they're younger.
And not for me. For me, I'm here for the 76ers. Joel isn't. I mean, he's injury prone.
He's got to stay healthy. But they signed Andre Drummond.
So
that could take some of the load off.
And I think that's going to help banging for Joel, where he doesn't have to be, have to crash on those boards and they exert as much energy
At least he goes off the court. At least they have somebody that can get a fucking rebound. Drummond's a very
that's why
phenomenal.
I like the signing for the Nuggets.
They brought back Kelly Oubre Jr.
But didn't they bring back DeAndre Jordan?
DeAndre Jordan's with the Nuggets.
Yeah, that's what I said. The Nuggets. That's what I said. Why are you looking like I'm new?
We're talking about the Sixers.
Right, and that's what I said, because we're talking about the Sixers, and when Joel, they signed Andre Jordan.
Yes.
And I like that signing, because when Joel's off the court, or is on the court, he doesn't have to bang and get boards.
Yeah, true.
That's also what I liked about the Nuggets signing DeAndre Jordan, is because when Joker's off the court now, you have a big that is dominating the board, so you're not soft in the paint.
Yep.
That's what, for both bigs, for Joker and Joel, that's big for them to have the old-time bruiser.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
At least you finally got there. I'm sorry that the dial-up internet hit him.
Sorry, it hit
Y'all had to see the dial-up.
The last... Oh, yes, we got to get to one of them. I need one of them, yes.
So my man thought he needed a...
Again, it's cool.
Oh, my, you were a little baby soft.
I did it.
Aww.
Them working out them arms, baby. They would twist them off, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you didn't go to the gym this morning, so
I'm going later. It's cool. Other news. Hold up. Golden State Warriors waived Chris Paul. He's going to the Spurs. 1 year, $11 million deal to be with Wemby, motherfucker. He's gonna be the point guard for Wemby.
1 for 11.
1 for 11. I swear, boy. What?
Well, I like the signing for the Spurs. Not for Chris Paul, because it doesn't help his legacy on trying to elevate his status in the point guards. Wemby. But it definitely helps a very young Spurs roster. And boy, I'll tell you what, Victor Wembanyama's coming for everybody.
Yep.
With Chris Paul there, I'm going around saying Wembanyama, next 10 years, Defensive Player of the Year. And
do you think he's going to be in the MVP conversation? If they
conversation, this finger was MVP conversation because of Chris Paul, because he'll be able to facilitate in that pick and roll game. Dude, already's like 7'5", toss the ball up there. I don't even got to jump.
And you got Chris Paul, a great lob thrower, so
and a great facilitator of the offense. Victor Wembanyama is going to stay boy's going to be scary.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see that. After we saw what his rookie year.
He blown me out his rookie year.
Considering halfway through, but not halfway, but let's say about 20-some games in, the Spurs players kind of seemed they were trying to annihilate him out of the offense. Yes. And the dude was wide open. He's just kind of like this, and I'm like, no one's around him.
You got to give him
the ball,
and then he got.
And it's going to be completely different. I mean, Chris Paul, I think, probably took the money. Unfortunately, they're not going to win no chip there.
No.
And so yeah, no. What's something I want to touch on before you touch on it? I don't know if it's on there or not, but the Hawks trade. They trade Devontae Murray to the Pelicans.
Did we touch on that last episode?
I want to talk about it now.
Okay, let's talk about it again. I like the trade.
All about the draft. How do you feel right now, the Pelicans, with Zion, with Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, and now
Murray?
DeJounte Murray.
I like it. It definitely is an upgrade from what they've had
at point guard.
What
move they got to do next? Is it keeping Ingram? Is it moving Ingram, or is it CJ McCollum, or is it both?
I think you may have to look at possibly moving Ingram. Unfortunately,
you move Ingram.
Even
though CJ McCollum is kind of the 1-2, so he comes off the bench and leaves.
So, if I would like to see them keep the young guys together, because I don't like you splitting things up. Because they've just never been healthy. They always seem to fall apart at the wrong time.
Like I said, I compared them.
It's unfortunate
to the Trailblazers back in the day.
But if they could stay healthy, dude, they're definitely not a play-in team. They're not a play-in team. They're definitely now. Are they? They're 7-5. I'll put them right there. They're not play-in, but they're 7-5. That's where I put them. Seed 5 through 7. The Pelicans.
That's 7's play-in.
7's play-in. 6-5. They're 6-5. They're 6-5.
I'm looking at you like they're not playing. They can't be
6-5. They're 6-5. They're not in the play-in.
So they're no lower seeded than the 6th seed.
Yes.
Like you don't expect anything. So they're going to miss the play-in then.
Yes, I think they'll miss the play-in,
bearing any long-term injuries.
Murray showed you. Obviously, it's unfortunate that the Trae Young and Murray experiment didn't work out.
But the Hawks, though.
The Hawks fucked it. They should have traded Trae Young. I thought it was Trae Young. The whole offseason, even into the season last year, I was like, man, they might have to move off Trae Young. Like, even we've talked about, I'm pretty sure if you go back in the archives, a couple episodes in talking about the basketball, we probably said, man, I thought Trae Young to the Spurs. Him and Wemby, I thought would have been insane. That pick and roll, you throw the lob, him stepping back and shooting the three. Oh, fuck, good luck guarding that bullshit.
I mean Trae Young's a knockoff Kroger version of Seth Curry. Even at this point in time with Seth Curry.
Now,
I think they fucked up too.
Yes, I think they fucked up. But for the Pelicans, kudos to you. You got a dog. You got a dude that is...
And gave up nothing.
Yeah, you gave up.
I mean, obviously, it had to give up some, but...
You gave up a bag of chips that you already put your hands in, ate a couple of chips in, had to grab your buddy, grab more chips in, and then you handed it off.
Left it open on the
pretty much
kitchen counter. It went stale and gave it to the
That's pretty much what happened. So I love this for the Pelicans. Like I said, nothing less for me personally, barring health, than the 6th seed. So
what do you expect out of a healthy Zion Williams?
I'm expecting Zion again. I'll tell you this: Zion, I expect to be in the motherfucking MVP conversation. You were supposed to be that dude coming out of. You were that dude coming out of high school into college. You were that dude coming out of college to the pro. I'm waiting to still fucking see it. Don't fall apart and make me look like an idiot like I am with Ben Simmons, goddammit, Zion. Get your shit together, please. You're going to make me look like another idiot. I have to deal with this every day because I said, Ben Simmons, he's coming back. He's coming. Now I'm off the Ben Simmons train. No, shut up. We're not doing it. No, Zion, get it together, please. I need you.
No, this dude over here is like, MVP, Ben Simmons. Who you got for MVP? Ben Simmons, here it comes. Ben Simmons. Who the fuck have you been watching? God damn. Like, no.
Ben Simmons.
3 years in a row.
Did you see they leaked Ben Simmons overall in the next 2K? It's like 65. How do you go from an 80? He dropped from an 87 to a 65.
You don't play. But still getting paid on a max deal.
Who's worse not playing, Ben Simmons or Kawhi?
Ben Simmons.
They're about the same, though,
in
reality.
Kawhi's still getting paid. Ben Simmons on the last year of his max deal.
But, no, Zion, I expect Zion to be in the MVP conversation. He'll be in the defensive conversation because...
Do you think he has finally bought into New Orleans in the Pelican organization? Do you think that's kind of part
I think
of it?
Yes. Last year he showed he bought into it because when he got hurt, that hamstring injury, you saw the pain in his face. Like, damn it. Like, I finally...
If he doesn't...
But he took too long to lose the weight.
But if he doesnn't get hurt against the Lakers in the play-in game...
I think we both agree that the Pelicans probably win that game.
Win.
We both, and that he was literally, you were on that. Like, man, you're like, Zion, next day we were at work, and you're like, dude, Zion don't get hurt. Lakers might have lost that game because you couldn't stop him. You couldn't stop him.
It was like, it was literally in essence of LeBron with the Heat or second step with the Cavs.
Almost like the LeBron back in Detroit. When he played Detroit, he scored 25 straight. Not the same type of aura.
I was thinking more of like when LeBron would play the Raptors and the Raptors had no answer. When he played the Pacers and they just had no answers. Or game 5 or 6, LeBron against the Celtics, and they just stop the man.
When he dropped 45, and he was just putting shit up to put shit up. Yeah,
I was just when you watch somebody play, and
like don't get wrong, like that game I was rooting for the Lakers, but I'm watching this, I'm like, kudos to you, dog. Like you on fire.
Every time he touched the ball, he was just
it was a bucket
down, and he was going. I'm like. He's a problem. Then he went out. I'm like, you're going to have to capitalize. And then it came out that he was hurt.
And it was just. But I think he bought him because when he got hurt, you saw the pain in his face. You saw the.
Well, I think he tasted. I think he finally tasted some winning and the potential to.
But
really
again, it's all about him understanding you got to keep the weight off. That weight is not good for him. He did. He gained the weight. He got the shaft. He lost it all. But it was just too much. Late into the season, his body didn't hate. So if he comes in with that mindset that he had when that was going on, dude, the Pelicans can be very dangerous. Like, I'm saying bare minimum, not less than a 16. I'm not saying that the Pelicans couldn't skyrocket and surprise a bunch of people by any means, but... all
right, so we touched that.
I want to touch on some of the trades that were turned away so far. So, the Golden State Warriors offered CP3, Moses Moody, Kuminga, a first-round pick for Paul George, and the Los Angeles Clippers said no. Mind you, I want you to remember, Kuminga and Moody are lottery picks in the first round.
Well, also remember what Kuminga did?
Yes.
As a starter, he had to...
And they were attaching a first-round pick to this. For Paul George, they were giving you CP3, which you could have easily just got... The Clippers could have got rid of, obviously.
Could have waived him.
Could have waived him. But you were getting two young guys that I believe... Kuminga... I believe can be that. Moody has not gotten the opportunity in Steve Kerr's system, but when he's been on the floor, you see it. He's a great 3-and-D, great three-point shooter. I don't think he gets enough credit for how good he can shoot the rock. But the fact that the Clippers said no to this, and then Paul George later walks away for free, mind-boggling to me because you basically would have got 3 first-round picks. Because Moody and Kuminga are first-round picks, and they were giving you a first-round pick. So that's 3 first-round picks, really. I could not believe.
Even if you didn't want to keep those guys, you could have turned and flipped them.
Flipped them, absolutely.
And you just got draft capital back and not have to eat any of that salary.
But the Clippers did not want to do a deal with the Golden State Warriors.
I get it because it's the Warriors and they want to deal. It was the reason why they want to do that deal. But you just let PG, who you just gave up. What we said earlier.
It'd be really intriguing. Like, imagine if that trade went through. Would Clay left? Do you think Clay still would have left, knowing that maybe you would have had a chance to really compete?
I don't know if the Warriors even really had plans. I know they offered him a deal, but I don't know if that deal offered came after they lost out on PG.
So that's a different scenario. You got to really think about
all that money leaving.
Yes.
To get PG, I would assume there still was money there for Clay.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a Big Four back with the Warriors? You have to consider it a Big Four with Draymond, PG, Clay,
absolutely.
Steph.
The fact that the Clippers said no to that trade mind boggles me.
You can't.
I stare at this trade. I'm like, how the fuck do you say no to this?
Considering he was going to walk, because they were not going to offer him a max deal. They came out and said, we're not offering you a max. And he wanted the max, and the Sixers, it's really funny. Because you said, 76ers are out, my guy. They don't want him.
I thought they were out. They were
rumored.
We'll
see. I don't know. Joel, their franchise guy, wants him, and they got to upgrade over to Tobias Harris for sure. Think about it too. At that time when I said that, it was being reported the Warriors were pushing hard, and then that happened, and then boom. It was like it almost felt like maybe that's why, because the Sixers had insight that this trade was being happening. They thought for sure the Clippers would accept 2 first-round picks. Well, the 76ers weren't going to have to. The 76ers didn't have to do a signing trade.
No.
Like, if Paul George wanted to go to the Warriors. That was probably why it came out, because that was his option. Obviously,
yes.
They're opt-in, trade me. They're like, we're not going to do that trade. Came out, I'm going to opt out then. And his second choice in opting out would have been the 76ers.
So,
and that's where he went.
Again, I can't go to the fact. I'm looking at these names: Moody, Kuminga, a first-round pick.
I don't care if it's bubblegum. I'm not letting somebody walk for. I'm not letting some 35-year. Paul George is 35, but I gave up so much to get him. I'm not going to let him walk for free.
Yeah.
Like, give me bubblegum and a pack of Tic Tacs.
Give me a sandwich, a new washer and dryer, something. I'm going into a new stadium. I need it. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is
on a scale of 1 to 10? I rate these Smirnoff's red, white, and blue berries a 9.
Yeah, they're a 9. The Clippers saying no.
Better, actually.
Oh, they are?
Just the cans.
I don't think I've had the cans.
Differently.
I don't think I've had cans.
They just kind of a little bit differently. They also come in a 12-pack.
But what would you rate the Clippers on a scale of 1 to 10? How bad of turning this trade down was? Is this the max top 10?
Well,
how dare you?
10's the worst, and 1's I guess the least. I would say it's like an 8. It's really bad. You could easily turn and flip those guys for just draft capital if you did not want to carry the cap load.
So
it's not hard.
We clown on the Clippers for turning down this trade, so now it's our turn to clown on the Golden State Warriors. So the Bulls offered Zach LaVine to the Golden State Warriors for CP3 and Andrew Wiggins. Golden State said no.
With a first-round pick attached to Zach LaVine.
With a first-round pick, and Golden State said no. I'm going to kill you. I swear to God. Again, Zach LaVine, the Bulls have came out and said we're attaching Zach LaVine with a first-round pick. They offer him to 2 dudes you're struggling with. You release CP3. Wiggins, I don't know what the fuck's going on with the Warriors or Wiggins. Wiggins can't even play for Team Canada because the Warriors are playing hardball. However the fuck that's supposed to work. I still haven't really figured out the reason why he can't play for Team Canada.
They want him to get hurt so they can max value his value.
So you have the friction between them. And they're giving you Zach LaVine and a first-round pick. And that would take the ball out of Curry's hands. Curry could run around more, get more open threes.
So really, at the basis of all of it, they would have taken CP because they had to take I'm assuming the contract of CP3. They would have turned around and waived CP3 or kept him. I don't really know. It's the Bulls to make dumb choices.
Yes.
And then you would have gotten off his contract. You would have given up Wiggins for Zach LaVine and gotten a first-round pick on top of it.
Yes.
So you at least would have gotten 1 draft capital in Zach LaVine, and again, who knows? Maybe Clay stays then.
Yeah.
But assuming that he wasn't going to stay, Zach LaVine is a potential superstar in the league, when healthy, a high flyer that can shoot in the mid-range, can shoot threes, paired with Seth, and a very stable-minded Draymond Green when he is, with obviously a Kuminga. is like, damn, like, I don't understand why you say no to that one.
That one to me is just crazy. I couldn't believe when I saw that trade come out too, and I saw they said no. I was like, what is Golden State thinking? That gives Curry another ball handle guy that he doesn't have to carry the ball all the time, take some pressure from him. Zach LaVine has no problem being the ball handler. He wants the ball in his hand. And Curry coming off down screens, pick and pop. Oh my fucking God. You thought Curry was lethal there. Imagine him not having to create so much to get the three off. You got Zach LaVine that's going to create it for you? Oh, come on.
His energy. Zach LaVine's no slump on
the side either. And he's been trying to get out of Chicago for fucking 3-4 years now, dude.
I mean, you got to call him Golden State because that's a bad miss. But they also reported that they were shopping Zach LaVine, attaching a first-round pick to move him in.
No, nothing.
No other team has jumped on it.
No team.
The value.
The Bulls are probably going to buy out Lonzo Ball, is being reported, so he's going to be available for a good veteran minimum. That's going to be a solid veteran minimum.
You would assume a veteran minimum. DeMar DeRozan, after they traded away Alex Caruso and got
Josh Giddey, then paid him $100 million.
So he said that was it, and I'm out. So
he's
now
out.
You watch your veteran, and he's going to sign potentially somewhere.
Miami Heat, last I checked, were the leading candidate. So we'll see how that works.
He's a great mid-range shooter. Probably like the last. Him and Kawhi probably the best mid-range guy.
Again, the other trade that went down that's not necessarily bad, but the Los Angeles Lakers offered D'Angelo Russell for Klay Thompson in a sign-and trade. Golden State obviously said no.
Well, that's the only way they could have done it. Yeah. The mid-level exception.
I also have to real quick. In the Klay Thompson signing to the Dallas Mavericks, it was a sign-and trade. They also sent 2 second-round picks to the Warriors, and Josh Green from Dallas went to the Charlotte Hornets.
Poor guy.
So that poor dude, you go to Charlotte, dude. But he got paid.
Well, I think anything that involved Klay Thompson was going to be a sign and trade because he was going to get more than the mid-level.
So you give up 2 first-round picks or 2 second-round picks. I'm afraid that 2 second-round picks for Klay. Not horrible.
And you moved off of Josh Green, and you already replaced him earlier in the offseason.
So
like I said, I think that the Mavs that was too easy.
So and other news that happened in the NBA that we didn't get to talk about that came on later. During the NBA draft, the Detroit Pistons didn't have a head coach, and they drafted players, obviously, and we're like, damn, how's it going to work when you don't have a head coach? But the Pistons do have a head coach, J.B. Bickerstaff, the guy that you were unhappy that got fired in Cleveland. He's now heading to Detroit to try to clean up a disastrous of a mess in Detroit.
I don't know what you're going to do.
But I like him because of the player development. You saw what he did in Cleveland with those young guys. He elevated them. Now, Detroit is a completely different mess. But I believe in his process. The question becomes does the Detroit Pistons front office up top believe in his process?
I don't know. You paid the guy so much money last year and then booted him on a 5-year deal and booted him out in one
year. Yeah.
I don't know how much of it takes time to develop talent at the next level.
Yeah.
And so that has me very curious. But I mean, it's a good hire.
It's a very good hire. Very good hire.
Developing a young roster.
And then this was something you brought to me yesterday that I had already had written down. But who got the best upgrades this offseason?
I think hands down it's the 76ers. Getting Paul, 35, even though he's 35 years old, I think the 76ers getting Paul George to play the Tobias Harris role. And
what we call a somewhat, maybe Eastern, still weak at Eastern Conference, people still like to say, even though I don't think it's really weak.
If it's a healthy Eastern Conference, it's a very strong Eastern Conference now. Celtics, the Heat potentially getting a little bit better. Get the 76ers. The Bucks. I mean, that's about 5 teams.
So you gave me your East team. Give me your West team.
The West. I mean, it's easy. It's the Mavs. Actually, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's tough because I think you're going to probably say OKC.
I'm going to say OKC. So, adding Alex Caruso, Isaiah Hartenstein.
It gives them a lot of good defense and a lot of shooting that they needed.
Yes.
That they desperately needed to pair with
Alex Caruso is an upgrade from Luke Dort. Even though Luke Dort's still there, he's an upgrade from Luke Dort. So now Luke Dort
I'm going to say the other upgrades outside of Klay that the Mavs made, I think it makes the Mavs better, and you could potentially, I wouldn't be surprised if they're back in the finals next year. So I'm going to have to say the Mavs, out of the West, who knows who's going to get there?
Yes.
But definitely they were lacking a three-point shooter and a more veteran presence for Luka's.
For me, the East, again, I agree with you with the Sixers, but I'm going to go the New York Knicks for the simple fact of they're not done yet. They got Mikal Bridges.
You can't really do that because
it's not the New York Knicks. It's the Villanova Knicks.
But
it's
I
gave
you that answer.
You didn't give me nothing. I earned that answer.
Well, because I gave it to you. But that's a good one to go because they did.
You do have some news. Go ahead.
No, finish what you got.
I'm going with the Knicks just for the simple fact.
Why?
The Villanova Knicks.
Yes,
the Villanova Knicks. Because they got Mikal Bridges and Julius Randle's someone they still got to trade away.
Well, they also re-signed.
OG Anunoby. They got OG Anunoby re-signed. So they still got to trade Julius Randle. And you're going to get something for him. I think you got to. There's no way.
Is it off-season trade or is it?
No, it's off-season trade. You're not
try to run it with him and see what happens.
You cannot run it with him because he doesn't fit with those Villanova Knicks.
Well, he's not fit. From Villanova, but do you not try to run it with him? And then if it doesn't work,
Villanova and Kentucky Wildcats don't mix. Okay,
but they're both blue.
That's okay. They don't mix together. Villanova Knicks and Kentucky Knicks, they don't mix. You got to get him up out of there.
His game doesn't necessarily fit what they're trying to run with Jalen Brunson at the helm.
To me, their game feel like it's going to be a lot of running.
Well,
it's going to be a lot. There's no Julius Randle's games. Give me the ball in the post. Let me back it down. Something your 2K character can't do, but could have done against that 6'5" dude. But our teammates are ass. That's a whole nother subject. I'm not trying to get you upset about. But that's Julius Randle's game, and that's not the Knicks' game.
No, it's not. They're very much of a fast-paced, lockdown defense, play great defense, and get out in transition. Kind of team. But what do you got in the West?
I told you.
OKC.
OKC, because Alex Caruso, Isaiah, that they signed from the Knicks. So the potential of their front court is 7 feet and 7'1". Isaiah can stretch the floor. I just think those guys now, Chat got a taste of the playoffs, SGA, MVP, runner-up. I think
Alex Caruso is going to
Alex Caruso is just going to be
for all those young guys as well.
And who's this? And again, the OKC still have first-round picks. They're still.
They can make any kind of trade.
They can make anything that they want. So I'm going OKC, but it was a toss-up between them and the Mavs. I'm just going to go OKC.
Well, it's sad that we pretty much agree on both teams. But on the staff, though,
you have some breaking news.
The Lakers, JJ Redick he hired some staff. He hired Nate McMillan and Scott Brooks to be his assistant coaches on his staff. Former Trailblazers and Hawks head coaches.
Scott Brooks also coached KD. He's been with Westbrook.
Yeah.
Baby McMillan had the Greg Oden, Brandon Roy, Trailblazers had Damian Lillard for a little bit.
He definitely went and got some veteran head coaches.
And that's what we needed. That's what we needed.
I was really hoping, and I'm still hoping out that he does add a Rajon Rondo to his staff.
That would be perfect for him.
I think that would be great for even the younger guys. You talk about development. I'm torn. A little bit on the Lakers, I'm torn. LeBron, AD, they're thinking chips, while the front office
is thinking future.
And the staff is more like future. Bronny, more future development.
Dalton, future.
More. I think he can do here.
Well, he's older. He's like 24, 25 years old. So he's.
There ain't no motherfucking way I'm that old.
I think he's like 20.
He's probably like 22, 23.
No,
but regardless, he's a here. I think he. Okay, regardless of his age, I think he can contribute here and now with with off-ball shooting, the pin downs they can do, and it gives them more just kind of unorthodox, out of rhythm shot maker that he is. So that's to me. What? God damn! You don't know the dude's name.
Well, I know his name's Dalton, but I don't remember his.
He was the 17th overall pick. Dalton Kennett.
He was born in 2001, so yeah, he's 23 years old. He's about to be 24 years old. He just turned 24 then, right? No, he's 23. He just turned 23.
Yeah, he's 23 I mean, obviously
he was much older in this draft. Obviously,
well, he was an older guy, but in the draft when you're drafting.
But yes, he should be able to help now.
Old. But I think he's a first round pick, so you expect him to have an impact now.
Yeah.
But I think there's a disconnect on the Lakers. Being that's what LeBron is, that's the biggest name in
the
league.
To me, if you're thinking future, then why even offer LeBron a contract, and why not just trade AD then, if you're thinking for the future? If you want me to keep it real, take the biasness out of it.
Well, they're trying to do both, I think. I think they can try to have a good enough roster. I think they think they have a good enough roster to contend now while developing their bench past LeBron while building around AD. I think is what their thought is to build around AD after.
We'll have to see
this year or next year.
I'm a little disappointed in the Lakers front office not being able to land anybody, and then these guys just going to random places.
They didn't land nobody during the trade deadline last year. It's what the Mavs did this trade deadline.
Bro, I don't know how Rob Pelinka has a job. Like, bro, like this is bad.
He must give some good hawk to
it. Yeah, but that's pretty much everything that's gone on in the NBA right now. There is a little bit of other news outside the NFL. There's really only one news in the NFL. CeeDee Lamb came out and said that if he doesn't get the deal that he wants to be traded. He doesn't want to be there no more.
Well, yeah.
And the Cowboys got a lot to think about. They got him, Dak, and Micah Parsons.
Well, Dak wants to be a $60 million a year quarterback.
He does.
CeeDee wants to be paid accordingly to the wide receiver market, which I don't know. It's not that hard. Justin Jefferson's been paid. So pay him accordingly, a little less than Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
And Brandon Ayuk will get a little bit less as well. But Ayuk has already named off the Commanders or Steelers.
Yep. Brandon Ayuk says if he can't get a deal done with the 49ers, he wants to be shipped there. Obviously, we know why the Commanders, Jalen Daniels, they were teammates in college. They've clearly been hanging out ever since he got to the league. So, and, Brandon Ayuk went on a podcast, and the OGs tried to tell him to keep it off the internet. And Brandon Ayuk like, look, I don't really want your advice. Like, I'm upset, and,
He feels like he deserves to be paid, and honestly, I think he is the one for the Niners. I think he is the number one. Debo's more kind of like a gadget.
Debo's a Swiss Army knife. He can give you a little bit of everything.
I just don't think he's, unfortunately, quite been allowed or had the ability to really develop his route running outside of what Debo already has.
Yeah.
But Brandon Ayuk can do 1 through 5 on the tree.
Yeah. So, again, NFL is getting closer. Like we told you guys before, the closer the NFL season get here, we're going to start going through our top five of everything each week leading up to the season. So, be safe to that because we are not going to tell you what we got on our list. Like, we're not talking about it. We're going to do our own list.
Just know he's wrong. Like, it's okay to give your opinion and be wrong, my guy. That's all you have to know.
That's okay. That's for you guys to decide, not us.
I'll decide if he's wrong. But what's your thoughts on Micah Parsons, though?
Oh, so one of his teammates on Dallas Camp, motherfucker. One of Micah Parsons' teammates came out and said that he kind of has a problem with Micah Parsons doing a podcast during the season, basically saying, if the run game's bad and you're doing a podcast every week, it's not a good look. And Parsons like, why don't you come talk to me like a man, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know. To me, I'm not mad that you have a podcast, but have you earned the right to be able to do it during the season? For an example, I'm going to compare. Draymond Green has a podcast that he does during the season. Draymond Green is also a 4-time NBA champion. He's earned that right. He's a defensive player of the year. He's done.
Well, he was still putting up that's kind of hard
he's not putting up big numbers anymore, but he's still, obviously, when he's not on the floor.
It's towards the end of his career. But Micah was talking about how the run game and this and that has been going wrong, and this dude was on somebody else's podcast and pretty much bashing Micah Parsons, and he's like, why couldn't you just come to me and talk to me versus putting that on a podcast?
But it's also been reported that a lot of people in the Cowboys organization are not happy with Micah Parsons.
They don't really think he's a leader.
So there has been some,
and the dude wants to be paid the highest on average player.
He does.
Outside of QB.
The Cowboys have a lot of drama they have to figure out.
What happens if they lose two of the 3 stars, or all 3?
If they lose CeeDee Lamb, bro.
Because they could potentially lose, not Micah yet, but they could potentially lose CeeDee
Well,
Lamb.
Micah's also been on record saying that he is upset that they let their defensive coordinator go, Dan Quinn,
They should have promoted him to head coach.
To Seattle, so... To me, it's like maybe I don't know. Like I said, the Cowboys have a lot of issues they got to figure out in that organization. They got to figure it out. The only other big news, the U.S. Men's soccer team lost. The U.S. national team lost. I don't remember who they played, but it was. If you caught the game, if you've seen the game on social media, it was. You can't tell me it wasn't. Yeah, controversy is the right word. A lot of controversy. I'm not going to say rigged because there's too many people out here running with that narrative. But like my man, he said, who's the soccer star, if there was a sport that has a lot of controversy around it, it would be soccer. Mm-hmm. And if you go and you watch that game, there's a lot of controversy, and it's a shame.
Considering the one and only goal that was scored
should not have scored
was with the opposing team, and they were offsides. And they came out and said, well, the camera angle isn't exactly right.
What did you say to that? What was your...
How the fuck does MLS have camera angles all over the
FIFA,
stadium?
we're talking FIFA.
And this is the World Cup qualifiers.
And you
don't have enough cameras?
That's a problem.
How does that work?
Yeah.
It's the biggest stages of the national teams, and you don't have enough cameras to get a perfect angle. When they freeze frame and you see the guys pass, they're offsides, and they let it go. Talk about it's a scandal. I mean, it happened. Unfortunately, they have had a lot of scandals in the FIFA.
Yes, they have.
World.
Like I said, I'm not the greatest soccer. I'm getting better because obviously we're broadening our horizons because we got to talk. But this is my soccer expert, and when I saw that stuff, I immediately went to him, and he's like, "Dude, this shit it's not good. It's not a good look at all, especially with the way social media is."
When the star American player pulls it, goes up to shake the ref's hands because you gotta be.
And the ref pretty much said,
and
"Fuck you."
one ref dabs him up, and the other one just kind of stands there and looks at him like, "All right, so just tell me like you're fucking me, bro." Like,
pretty much,
cool.
But yeah, that's pretty much what we got for you guys today. Again, have a great 4th of July. Be safe or don't. It's your choice. You're an adult. But make sure the young people around you stay safe, obviously.
Or don't.
That too.
It's not my problem.
But have a great 4th of July, and we'll see you guys next week.